Moto Motoriki. Kia ora koutou, talofa lava, malo e leni sambolanaka, and welcome to Kiwi News Briefs. Hi, I'm Beno, and welcome to a roundup of what's happening in New Zealand and around the world. Well, first up, emergency services have come under full scrutiny after Good Friday deluge of stormwater, power outages, lightning, breaking and cracking thunder for hours through Good Friday evening. Now, the following day, there were three, not one, but three warnings for emergency services to make up for the one that they did not warn Aucklanders about, and flooding occurred in certain areas. So I'd say emergency services, you need a reduction in your wages because you have one job. One job. Okay, the so-called warning didn't work, and you didn't send it on Friday, so just own up to it. Now, on to much more poignant and a sad occasion. Pope Francis, who hours before he died, did his final farewell and welcomed his public as he normally did. Now, as you may or may not know, he took the name Francis because St. Francis of Assisi was a wealthy person in the 500 years ago, and he gave up all his wealth when he found God and realized you don't have to be successful, or you don't have to be ruthless, you don't have to be unkind to people. You just have to serve people. So his whole point of taking the name Francis as Pope Francis was to give up all his wealth and to serve people. And my gosh, from a very, very humble beginning in Argentina, Pope Francis has actually shown us that we were watching a saint in the making, and we hope that he is put forward towards that at a later date. Now, we know that the funeral service will take place in St. Peter's Basilica gathering area on Saturday New Zealand time, or Sunday New Zealand time, since it's Saturday in Italy. Now, there will be a memorial mass held in New Zealand at various parishes. Now, I didn't know this, but parishes aren't allowed to have these big memorials until after the funeral of the pontiff. So if you're in central Auckland, St. Pat's Cathedral, they had one yesterday at their lunchtime mass, and there was a big turnout of everyone who was just shocked that such a humble, kind leader of the world passed away and made such a big impact on prisoners. He washed prisoners' feet on Holy Thursday. He actually said it's okay to take in refugees. He said, who am I to judge when people were putting down LGBT people? He said, I'm not God, and neither should these people. They're all welcome in the church of the Catholic Church. What an amazing dude, when everyone's on hate online. So what we're going to go towards is, now that Easter's over, we go towards new beginnings, just as St. Patrick's fellow cardinals will be doing, and they'll be voting in the next 2 weeks as to who will be the forerunner. There is an African, there is an American, and there's a Filipino who are all in the mix. Now, Pope Francis actually made cardinals in his time, and made 80 of them. So an international flavour of Pope may come into the fore, and we hope that they are as kind and as generous and as thought-provoking as he was. And now let's just, for ourselves, make some new beginnings. Maybe you want to actually study legal studies. Maybe you want to become a model or an actor. Or maybe you just want to join a sports team or be a sports therapist for a team. Who knows? I guess those are all my goals for the rest of the year. But let's try to remain humble and just think about the fact that Pope Francis met up with people like Trump and humbled him and said he didn't agree with his refugee stand. He met up with the Ukraine Prime Minister and just supported him, because bullies from the top who do have the power and just want more, it's just called greed, and that's what a lot of people are based on in our economy. Even in our families, you just don't chase those things if you want to have peace of mind. Let's aim for peace of mind if you've got no other goals for the year. So why do I wear this? This is a poppy which everyone in New Zealand and Australia who remembers all the World War I people in 1917 who went off to Gallipoli and were shot to pieces by the Turkish people. Again, people should learn to negotiate, and you would think after 1917 that people would learn to negotiate. Trump, Ukraine, Tsar Putin. Let's hope they all do. Let's bless everyone who's actually on their way to new beginnings, and just be kind to everyone. Look at the beautiful person that was St. Francis. I'm heading off to Mass. I'm going off to Mass. Take care. Have a great day. Love what you're doing. Otherwise, give it up and study something else. Take care. See ya.